When nature strikes back, the ultimate showdowns. Welcome to the wild, where survival isn't a theory, it's a brutal, beautiful reality. Forget fair fights. Here, raw instinct, perfect timing, and the sheer will to survive rewrite the rules of engagement. Today, we're plunging into nature's most jaw-dropping clashes, proving that even the most fearsome predators can meet their match. The secretary bird, Cobra's worst nightmare. If you thought birds were all feathers and song, allow us to introduce the secretary bird. This isn't just a bird of prey, it's a long-legged, cobra-stomping war machine. When a king cobra, with its terrifying hood flared and venom ready, crosses paths with this avian assassin, it's not a battle, it's an execution. Unlike most raptors, the secretary bird hunts almost exclusively on foot, strutting through the grasslands like a feathered general. It doesn't sneak or strike from the air. No, this bird walks right up and stomps its prey into the afterlife. With legs like jackhammers and aim that could win Olympic gold, it can deliver over 50 pounds of force with a single kick. And it doesn't stop at one. It throws a full combo, left, right, stomp, spin, like it's river dancing on the snake's head. Imagine a nature documentary meets a Mortal Kombat fatality. The king cobra's venom is useless. The secretary bird dodges with perfect timing, lands another stomp, then tosses the limp reptile into the air like it's flipping pancakes. In parts of Africa, farmers welcome these birds as natural pest control as they patrol fields, keeping cobras, vipers, rodents, and even lizards out of sight and out of life. Wings of Doom. The sky assassin strikes. Overhead, the sky might seem calm, but beneath those clouds, death is about to dive bomb. Enter the white-bellied sea eagle, a predator that doesn't just hunt, it annihilates. Our story kicks off on a breezy morning above the coastline. A venomous sea snake cruises the surface like a liquid rope with fangs. Then, bam, the eagle spots it. With vision 8 times sharper than a human's, it locks on, folds its wings, and plummets like a feathery missile. This isn't a casual swoop. This is precision warfare. The eagle's talons snap around the snake mid-swim, like nature's version of a claw machine, except this prize bites back. As the eagle lifts off, the snake goes full ninja, coiling and sinking its fangs toward the bird's leg. Bad news for the snake. It forgot to land the bite. The eagle, unfazed, flaps higher, talons clamped tight, attitude even tighter. The snake's venom is useless unless it hits the bloodstream, and this bird's armor of scales and feathers means it's flying home unbothered. Back at the nest, the chicks chirp like popcorn in a microwave. The snake gets shredded like pulled pork, served fresh and bite-sized to hungry beaks. Brutal?
Yes.
Efficient? Absolutely. Sea eagles can carry prey weighing over 4 pounds while flying hundreds of feet in the air. That's like a human running a mile while holding a bowling ball. So, if you're a snake thinking of sunbathing near the ocean, you might want to check the skies first, because sometimes lunch is looking back at you from 200 feet up. Swamp Showdown. Gator versus Python. Welcome to the Florida Everglades, where every puddle could host a death match. On today's reptilian fight card, the cold-blooded grudge match between the Native American alligator and the unwelcome Burmese python. These two beasts aren't just crossing paths, they are locked in an ecosystem turf war. Alligators have been swamp royalty for millions of years. Then, in slithered the Burmese python, an invasive escapee from the exotic pet trade, ready to challenge the throne. These snakes breed like crazy, grow over 20 feet long, and have a habit of swallowing everything from rabbits to full-grown deer. Even gators aren't safe. But here's the twist. Neither are the snakes. In one jaw-dropping underwater encounter, the python makes the first move, slithering in close, aiming to wrap and crush. But the alligator isn't here to play boa constrictor games. With an ancient side-eye and a casual turn, the gator just swims away, effortless, like a bouncer ignoring a drunk guy at the bar. While pythons are built for the long squeeze, alligators are like underwater tanks. Their bite force is over 2,000 pounds per square inch, and they can hold their breath for 2 hours. That's a long time to wait for a snake to mess up. So when a python lunges underwater, hoping for a quick victory, it often ends up slinking away, ambition unmet, dignity slightly damp. The Everglades aren't big enough for both of them, and as this battle of cold-blooded titans drags on, one thing's clear. The swamp doesn't forgive. It just replays the fight again and again. Claws come out. Mom cat versus python. Pythons don't sneak around looking for drama. They sneak around looking for dinner. But one python picked the wrong family to mess with. The scene, a sleepy stretch of sand and a cozy litter of kittens. Then suddenly the ground shifts. A python, long enough to wrap a truck tire, begins its silent slither toward the baby cats. Its mouth could easily swallow one whole. But not today. Not on Mom's watch. Cue the fury. The mother cat springs forward, fur bristling, eyes locked, paws swinging. She smacks the python's head with a whack so fierce it echoes across the yard. That's not just motherly instinct. That's feline vengeance with claws attached. Now, here's where it gets intense. The snake doesn't back down. It keeps coming, slow and relentless, inching closer to the kittens. But the cat grows bigger, scarier, and downright monstrous. She pounces again, her screams echoing like a banshee alarm. Eventually, even the snake gets the message. It backs off, humiliated and hungry, slithering away like it just got roasted in front of a live studio audience. Cats have the fastest paw strike of any domesticated animal, and when they're defending their young, they'll go full berserker mode, facing off against animals 5 times their size. So next time someone calls cats aloof or lazy, just show them this showdown. Because when mama cats go beast mode, even giant pythons end up on the losing side of lunch. Snake Slayer. Mongoose versus Black Mamba. Black mambas aren't just deadly, they're nightmare fuel with fangs. These snakes are lightning fast, hyper-aggressive, and their venom has a near-perfect kill rate in humans. You get bitten, you better start writing your will. But today's challenger, a mongoose. Small, fluffy, adorable, and totally unbothered. The scene unfolds near what might be the mongoose's nest. A black mamba glides in, ready to turn baby mongooses into snake snacks. But this mongoose charges in like it's been waiting its whole life for a boss fight. Here's what most predators miss. Mongooses are built for this. Their lightning reflexes allow them to dodge strikes with ridiculous precision. Their strategy, tire out the snake, dodge the venom-laced bites, and then go for the throat, literally. And just when you think this fuzzy little warrior is being reckless, there's a plot twist. Mongooses are naturally resistant to neurotoxic venom. Their receptors don't bind well with the toxin, meaning they can survive bites that would take down a lion. So, while the black mamba coils, hisses, and lunges with all the fury of a reptilian assassin, the mongoose just jukes, weaves, and counters like a 4-legged ninja. One final leap, one perfect bite, and the serpent goes still. Ancient Egyptians worshipped mongooses as protectors from evil, especially snakes. Turns out, they were spot on. In the end, size doesn't win, venom doesn't win. The mongoose wins again. Big cat versus snake, the Kruger ambush. In the wild heart of Kruger National Park, the sun scorches the soil and the food chain plays out in real time. One moment, a massive African rock python glides across the brush. The next, a leopard stares it down like a furry war machine with paws. Now, if you've ever watched a house cat go full psycho on a shoelace, just scale that up 30 times and add teeth that crush bones. That's this moment. The leopard doesn't pounce right away. It crouches low, eyes locked, brain ticking like a sniper calculating the shot. Suddenly, boom. The leopard explodes into motion and slams the python with a paw strike that sounds like a slap from Mother Nature herself. The snake reels, caught completely off guard. But this isn't over, not by a long shot. The leopard grabs the python by the head and drags it like it's bringing home takeout. The snake writhes, twists, and attempts to flee, but the big cat isn't even panting. It looks bored, like this is just cardio. Eventually, the python retreats, maybe wondering why it ever left its cozy rock pile. African rock pythons can reach over 20 feet long and swallow antelope, but even they hesitate when a leopard turns predator mode on. No one's sure why the leopard attacked. Was it protecting cubs? Defending turf? Or was it just a Monday and the cat needed something to maul? Either way, one thing's for sure. When a python meets a leopard in Kruger, the rope game ends with fangs and fury. Death by hug. The snake that got mantised. Snakes usually have the upper hand in the food chain, literally swallowing birds, rodents, and reptiles whole like it's a buffet. But one tiny insect didn't get the memo. Meet the praying mantis, an insect so savage it makes horror movie villains look polite. This story starts with a mantis lurking in the garden like a ninja waiting to clock in. Its target, a young snake, just slithering by, minding its snaky business. Big mistake. With zero hesitation and full-on murder eyes, the mantis lunges in. In under a second, it clamps down on the snake's face with those razor-tipped front limbs that look more like alien weapons than bug arms. Now, here's the twist. Snakes can bite, coil, and slither away at highway speeds, but mantises? They've got jet fighter reflexes, ultra-sticky grip, and a sneak attack that would make a Navy SEAL jealous. Plus, they're cannibalistic weirdos who eat their own lovers after mating, so yeah, mercy isn't in their vocabulary. As the snake thrashes, the mantis chews straight into its skull like it's carving a Thanksgiving turkey. No venom, no strangling, just raw jaw power and surgical precision. The snake, tough as it is, never stood a chance. Mantises have 360-degree vision and their strike speed is faster than a blink. That's how they land headshots in the wild like insect snipers. It's a brutal ballet of biology where size doesn't matter, and surprise wins every time. Dust and Venom, Bobcat's Wild West Duel. Somewhere in California's Golden Brushlands, a deadly face-off unfolds like a Western showdown. In one corner, a rattlesnake, coiled and venom-tipped. In the other, a bobcat with zero chill and a whole lot of attitude. The snake rattles a warning. The bobcat doesn't flinch. It moves in slow, ears twitching, tail flicking. Then bam! It slaps the snake across the face like it owes rent. The rattlesnake lunges, misses, and gets smacked again. What's happening looks less like a fight and more like a feline beatdown. Here's the kicker. Bobcats aren't immune to rattlesnake venom. One good bite, and it's lights out. But this bobcat doesn't care. It keeps dodging, slapping, and dancing in the dirt like a furry ninja. After several blows, the snake slows, that rattle fading fast. Then comes the finishing move. The bobcat lunges, clamps its jaws around the snake's head, and bites hard. Game over. The snake goes limp, and the bobcat? It drags its scaly trophy up the hill like it's showing off a new toy. And what does this feline gladiator do next? It rolls in the dust, stretches, and probably wonders what's for dessert. Bobcats hunt everything from rabbits to full-size deer, but when they take on venomous snakes, they rely on reflexes, speed, and sheer audacity. Moral of the story: if you're a rattlesnake thinking of throwing down, don't. Not unless you're ready to get tossed like a chew toy in the Wild West. Desert Matrix, the rodent that Kung-Fued a snake. Out in the desert, when the sun dips low and the shadows grow long, the Sidewinder rattlesnake begins its silent hunt. It's venomous, it's fast, and it slithers sideways like a haunted slinky. But what happens when this desert assassin meets a mouse that knows kung fu? Enter the kangaroo rat. Small, fuzzy, and allegedly adorable, these rodents are straight-up ninja masters. Their signature move, the Matrix dodge. As the snake coils, ready to strike like a coiled spring of doom, the kangaroo rat calculates, then launches into the air like a caffeinated popcorn kernel. Researchers watching this showdown were floored. Not only could the rat dodge a strike faster than you can blink, it often counterattacked midair with a flying kick to the snake's face. We're talking Bruce Lee meets Looney Tunes here. Here's the science. These little guys have ultra-long hind legs powered by specialized tendons that store and release energy, like a biological slingshot. Combine that with insanely sharp hearing and lightning-fast reaction times, and you get one rodent that doesn't go down easy. In slow-motion footage, you can actually see the rat pirouette through the air while evading venom-dripping fangs, and sometimes, just to add insult to injury, It delivers a back kick so clean the snake literally recoils in confusion. Cobra crisis. When Mottown met danger. You thought your dog chasing the mailman was intense? Meet Mottown and Lenny, two ordinary pups turned national heroes when their backyard turned into a Cobra battlefield. It started like any other sunny day until a 3.5-meter-long king cobra decided to crash the party. That's over 11 feet of pure venom, hissing with attitude. Most animals would run. These dogs? They went full superhero mode. Mottown charged first, barking like he'd just seen a ghost. Lenny circled the Serpent, looking for an opening. This wasn't just barking for fun, it was a strategy. One dog distracted, the other attacked. It's a routine they've used to take down smaller snakes before, but this time, their scaly opponent was the king of cobras, literally. And here's the scary part. One bite from a king cobra has enough venom to kill an elephant. A single fang puncture could end a life in minutes. Yet these dogs didn't back down, not once. Every lunge the snake made was met with a growl, a dodge, and a defiant bark. Eventually, the snake stood up, hood flared, ready to drop the hammer. But before this cobra could claim victory, emergency services arrived. Trained handlers grabbed the Serpent, bagged it, and relocated it miles away into the wilderness, hopefully far from anyone named Mottown. Fun fact, king cobras are the only snakes in the world that build nests for their eggs. But even the world's best snake parent isn't prepared for a tag team of backyard guardians. The cobra may have venom, but these dogs had guts, and on this day, courage won. Python's big mistake. Leopards don't tap out. If you've ever watched a cat sweat a sock for fun, you already know they don't need a reason. Now add claws, muscle, and a thirst for chaos, and you've got a leopard. So what happens when a python decides it can hunt that? Well, it ends badly for the snake. In Kenya's Masai Mara Reserve, a giant python made the boldest decision of its life. It spotted a leopard and thought, yeah, I could totally wrap that. And, to be fair, it almost did. The snake coiled, lunged, and tried its best WWE-style grab. It even started wrapping around the big cat's midsection like a snake-shaped belt of doom. But this leopard? It was built different. With Olympic-level reflexes and claws that could double as box cutters, the leopard twisted out of the coils like it had rehearsed this scene. Not only did it break free, it retaliated hard. Swipes, bites, tactical dodges, it was a blur of muscle and murder. The python tried again? No dice. The cat was too fast, too mean, and honestly too into this. After a solid round of wrestling that would make a crocodile blink, the leopard came out on top, victorious, smug, and probably a little annoyed it had to deal with such a long lunch. Leopards don't just hunt for food. They hunt because they can. And when something slithers into their space, it becomes a chew toy. Leopard 1, Python 0. Lesson learned. Don't bring coils to a claw fight. The Pecking Woodpecker versus Jungle Serpent. When you hear the word woodpecker, you probably think of cartoons and tree tapping. But this time, it's all-out war. Deep in the jungle, a crimson-crested woodpecker just went full warrior mode against a venomous 3-meter-long snake, and things got brutal. The showdown starts with a hiss. The snake, hungry and cold-blooded, slithers up a tree, sniffing out a hidden nest. Its target, fresh eggs, served scrambled. But Mama Woodpecker says, nope. With a war cry that sounds more like an angry squeak, the bird charges. The snake strikes once, twice, 4 times. Each bite lands hard, sinking venomous fangs into the tiny bird. But does the woodpecker retreat? Absolutely not. Bloodied but defiant, it keeps fighting. Peck, dodge, flap, repeat, like a feathered berserker. The bird drills its beak into the serpent's scaly head, forcing it to recoil. This isn't just instinct, it's primal fury. In the animal world, parenthood doesn't come with a manual, but it does come with claws and a beak. Even when the odds look impossibly stacked, that drive to protect the next generation turns a bird into a battlefield legend. Woodpeckers strike with forces of up to 1,200 Gs. That's over 100 times the impact of a car crash. This little avian tank might be small, but it hits like a jackhammer. And fast forward. In the end, The snake retreats, the nest is saved, and Mama Woodpecker? She stands guard, feathers ruffled, heart racing, but victorious. Turns out, even in the treetops, heroes wear red crests and fight dirty. Cobra chaos, when 5 dogs tag team a king. In most corners of the animal kingdom, facing a king cobra means one thing: game over. But when 5 scrappy dogs decide to take on snake royalty, that's a whole new story. In this backyard brawl caught on camera, a massive king cobra slithers into enemy territory. Normally, a lone dog wouldn't stand a chance. One bite from this venom-packed serpent can end a life in under 30 minutes. But this isn't a solo mission. This is a coordinated ambush. The dogs don't just attack. They run a playbook. One darts in, another distracts, a third jumps sideways. The cobra tries to focus, but every time it lunges at one, another nips from behind. It's like a canine game of whack-a-mole, only the stakes are life and death. The snake coils, hisses, flares its hood in warning, but the dogs don't blink. They stay just out of strike range, working together like a fluffy Navy SEAL unit. Their goal: exhaust and confuse the cobra until it runs out of options.
And it works.
The cobra becomes so overwhelmed that it can't land a single bite. Eventually, it's backed into a corner, surrounded and outmatched. It tries to escape, but with 5 tails wagging and adrenaline high, the dogs have already claimed victory. Pack coordination in dogs isn't just instinct, it's science. Studies show that even untrained dogs will team up naturally to face larger threats. And this snake just learned that the hard way. No word on whether the cobra walked it off, but the dogs probably celebrated with some extra treats and a good dirt roll. Kings fall, packs rise. Scaly tank versus serpent. The Tegu doesn't flinch. Meet the Tegu, a lizard that basically said, pain is optional. These reptiles look like someone crossbred a Komodo dragon with a street brawler and gave it plot armor. When a snake tries to tango with a Tegu, it might as well be biting a brick. These creatures have skin so thick and tough it laughs at fangs. Teeth? Please. You could come at a Tegu with a set of Ginsu knives, and it would still shrug you off. In this wild encounter, a venomous snake attempts to strike. Big mistake. The Tegu doesn't dodge. It doesn't flinch. It leans in like it's saying, "Is that all you got?" The snake goes for a bite, nothing. The Tegu bites back, and that's all she wrote. You see, Tias have venom resistance built into their DNA. They're like living tanks with taste buds. In fact, some species have been shown to neutralize neurotoxins, meaning they could eat a venomous snake and not even get heartburn. And speaking of bold diets, honey badgers, which share similar traits, get nearly a quarter of their meals from snakes, 25% snake intake. Imagine if your lunch was literally danger wrapped in muscle. Back to our Tegu. After thrashing the snake like it's playtime at a reptile dojo, it swallows the serpent whole. No hesitation, no side salad, just protein-packed predator-on-predator carnage. Tias are so tough that even machetes have trouble breaking through their hides. In rural South America, it's armor on legs. So next time you think lizard and imagine something slow and squishy, think again. The Tegu isn't just fearless, it's practically indestructible. Fluffy and furious. Bunny versus snake smackdown. A rabbit might look like a marshmallow with legs, but if you mess with her babies, prepare for war. In this showdown, a hungry black snake finds a nest of helpless baby bunnies. It slithers in, coils tight, and starts prepping lunch. But just before things get tragic, bam! Mama Rabbit enters the ring. She doesn't hesitate. She attacks. The snake uncoils in panic as this fluffy mother launches a furry hurricane of rage. One moment it's lunchtime, the next it's a full-on rodent rebellion. You think rabbits are harmless? This one flips like a ninja, does a somersault, and kicks the snake square in the face. And she doesn't stop. She bites, claws, and chases the serpent like it insulted her whole family tree. Rabbits are prey animals, sure, but they're also shockingly territorial and will fight like berserkers when their kits are in danger. That docile image? Total myth. The snake, Stunned and probably rethinking all of life's choices, slithers away defeated, humiliated, and most likely traumatized. That bunny didn't just win. She dominated. Female rabbits, especially eastern cottontails, have been observed engaging in high-speed attacks against predators. They may not have fangs or venom, but when it comes to raw willpower, they're all heart. Moral of the story: never underestimate an angry mom, especially one with twitchy ears and a black belt in Rage Fu. Tail tricks and squirrel Kung-Fu. You might think a squirrel's biggest flex is looking adorable while raiding your bird feeder. But when a deadly snake slithers into a mother squirrel's nest, that bushy tail becomes a blur of fury. This isn't just a skirmish, it's war. A venomous serpent approaches the nest, tongue flickering, fangs ready. But Mama Squirrel doesn't run. She stays. She fights. And she brings squirrel-style combat with her. She's done it before, obviously. She's quick. First move, the tail. What looks like a fluffy decoration is actually a built-in snake distraction. She whips it, flares it, taunts the predator like a Vegas magician pulling focus. The snake strikes once, twice, 3 times, but the squirrel dodges every blow with moves that would impress a martial arts master. And she doesn't just defend, she gets in the snake's face, chasing, biting, backflipping across branches, pulling off aerial stunts that would make a stunt double scream. Her goal isn't to kill, it's to outlast, outmaneuver, outcrazy. Snakes rely on precision, but this squirrel throws chaos into the mix, and chaos always wins the long game. Ground squirrels have been observed heating their tails to confuse infrared-sensitive predators like rattlesnakes. That's not just defensive evolution, it's tactical warfare. Eventually, the snake gives up, too tired, too confused. It slinks off to find something less intense. So next time you see a squirrel doing backflips in a tree, don't laugh. You might be watching one of nature's smallest, fiercest gladiators who once stared death in the face and gave it a lesson in hustle. Don't cluck with her. Hen versus King Cobra. Call her a chicken and you better mean legend. Because when a king cobra rolled into this hen's yard looking for an easy omelet, he met one of the bravest moms in the animal kingdom. The scene starts with a familiar predator slither. The cobra eyes a cozy nest, tail twitching, venom locked and loaded. The chicks, completely unaware of the danger. But their mom? She's already gone full protector mode. With feathers puffed and wings flapping like twin battering rams, this hen launches herself at the cobra. Not once, not twice, but again and again. She pecks, she flutters, she charges like a mini T-Rex with feathers, all while escorting her chicks one by one out of harm's way like a feathery bodyguard. The cobra keeps trying to strike, but this bird is relentless. She's not just protecting her babies, she's distracting the snake, daring it to come closer, taunting it with every furious flap. And here's the kicker. The snake never lands a single bite. Not one chick is taken. Not one peck goes unreturned. The hen wins through sheer grit and an unstoppable combo of maternal instinct and berserker energy. Hens have a natural instinct called brood defense, and it kicks in like a superhero transformation when danger strikes. Add adrenaline, and you've got a bird that can scare off a predator 10 times its size. By the end, the cobra slithers away, feathers in its fangs, pride bruised, stomach empty. So, yeah, next time you use chicken as an insult, remember this hen. She didn't cluck around. She declared war. The frog that eats death for breakfast. Australia is basically Earth's danger level turned up to 11. Sharks, spiders, jellyfish that kill in minutes, and snakes that make your bloodstream feel like lava. And yet, somehow, one of the continent's deadliest creatures just became lunch for a frog. Yep, you heard that right. A green tree frog slurped up a taipan like it was a noodle. A taipan, the same snake whose venom is so lethal one drop can end 100 human lives in less than an hour. If death wore scales, it would look like this serpent. But the frog doesn't care. No anti-venom, no gloves, no fear, just vibes. While humans collapse from a single bite, this slimy little hopper is out here living his best life, swallowing one of nature's nastiest reptiles like it's Taco Tuesday. It's awkward to watch, honestly. The taipan squirms, writhes, tries to fight its way out of a digestive fate, but the frog keeps munching, determined and disturbingly calm. If frogs had playlists, this guy was definitely listening to smooth jazz. Frogs like these secrete mucus that helps resist venom absorption, plus their tough stomach lining can trap and neutralize toxins before they do damage. Basically, they're the amphibian version of a hazmat suit with a snack plan. The kicker? The frog doesn't even look impressed by itself. It finishes the snake, licks its lips, and just stares into the distance like, next. So yeah, turns out being big and deadly isn't everything, because in the outback, sometimes it's the chill, bug-eyed tree frog that flips the food chain upside down. Nature never promises fairness, only the raw, unscripted truth of survival. If these battles taught us anything, it's this. Courage isn't measured in size or venom, but in instinct, timing, and heart. Which of these incredible showdowns surprised you the most?